recipe or an olive oil cake. Still not too sure which one I want to do. I really should decide soon though, because I need to get ingredients and stuff. This page makes me so happy. These are all of the swatches from the June washi pre-order. All of the washi tapes recently arrived, so I was able to do a live stream on Instagram, and we just like opened and swatched all of them together, and it was so much fun. And I always love flipping to this page to see all of the foil. So pretty. And I love this Leuchtturm pocket bullet journal because the width of the page is perfect for the pattern to repeat. There are a few exceptions, like some of the patterns are longer, but for the standard ones, the 5 emojis fit across perfectly. Okay, and then this is the last page that I did for July 29th and July 30th. I was doodling some ideas for the August freebie. These were just some things that I wanted to catch up on yesterday. Sundays are typically my catch-up days, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people. So those were my main priorities. And then I just filmed this today. I did a little TikTok video showing all of my favorite pens, so that is that. And then we have the 4 empty pages, which I'm not too sure what I'll be doing yet, but I guess you will see in my next planner update. Moving right along, I have my Hobonichi weeks. Alright, so this is my movement tracker. I show this every month, but there isn't really anything new to add. Still being pretty consistent with my steps and workouts. This was July 1st and 2nd. So July 1st was when we moved offices, so you will see across my other planners as well that it was just a very hectic few days. I really love this washi tape. One of my customers actually sent this to me, and okay, I do want to talk a little bit about this customer. I don't want to like say her name just in case she doesn't want to be named, but there was this customer who had an issue with one of her orders, and you know, of course, as a shop owner, I wanted to resolve the issue, and you know, we took care of that. And then 2 weeks later, maybe, I received a parcel in my PO box, and she actually sent me this washi tape and also this like desktop basket. And she said that it was just basically a thank you for helping her with her order, and it just absolutely made my day. Obviously, like, you know, it's my responsibility to help customers, and I never expect anything in return, but that was the first time I ever received a thank you like that, and it just, I don't know, it just makes everything so much more special. Even without that backstory, I love this washi tape so much. Okay, moving on. This was the 2nd week of July. We got in the little stamps for the July snail parcel subscription. All of the subscribers get a little stamp that has an emoji with a sprout on its head and little sparkles, and it is just the sweetest thing ever. So I had to do a little stamp test in here. I really like how I did these little icons to mark in like when I went to get coffee, my medical checkups, and things that made me happy. Also really love this like rainbow week in review sort of thing. Oh, this is another happy incident, which I will talk about when I show you my Hobonichi cousin, because I think that is a lot more meaningful. Okay, and then this was the next week. Here I was, oh my gosh, sorry about that. Here was a week where I was testing the undated date covers for the Hobonichi weeks. So we do have a dated version where you can piece together the emoji as well as the numbers, but if you don't mind writing in your own numbers, or if you have like a number sticker that you can paste on, I do sell like the undated full strip, and I was just testing the sizing for that, and I really like it. I don't plan on using this like every week just because it gets a little bit bulky, but I think if you're just like wanting to add something cute, I think it'll be really nice. And then I really like this weekend doodle that I made, and this was the inspiration behind another sticker sheet that I released. And my notes page is very empty here, but yeah. Here I went back to using fountain pens. No reason why, I just felt like it, and I love this little yarn doodle. Starting this week, I decided to try tracking my spending on the sidebar here, and I really like it actually. And so I started doing that the next week as well. I made a little currently section and a highlight section. Because the ink is this blue, I decided to do a contrast with the Tombow dual brush pen and use an orange. And then the last week of July, not so much different from the previous week. For the notes page, I wrote things that keep me going, and I intended on filling this out. As you can see, I have a lot of trouble with the notes page. I'm totally okay with it though. I just find that I'm short on time with filling it out completely. But yeah, I haven't actually set up for this week yet, but I will do so in a bit. So that is everything for my Hobonichi weeks. Okay, next up I will show my Hobonichi cousin. Oh yes, super excited about this card. This was the monthly section, which I did a plan with me on. Still need to fill out a few more things, but I really like how this turned out. And as you can see, these were my office move days. By the way, I pretty much go to the office like almost every day, but when I write office day, it's like when I'm there for the majority of the day, which typically I'm not because I have a lot of things that I have to do at my home computer. So again, I was moving July 1st, so that is why this was pretty much empty. I just didn't have time to fill in my planner. I also didn't really fill in my work hours because everything was so muddled together and I wasn't sure like if moving counted as work, so I just I left that blank. Oh, and this washi was the same as the one in the Hobonichi weeks I was talking about. This next week, I did a plan with me on using the July snail parcel, and this is a secluded town, and I love it so much, especially the duck, and there's a sheep somewhere, or I think it's covered up. I planned a personal painting time, but I guess that never ended up happening. I won't talk too much about this because I do have a full video on it. And then this, I used the Pastel Galaxy weekly kit from my shop. Actually, I think just a few leftovers, so I didn't use a full kit. Here I was testing the date covers and you can see I messed up the numbers, but that's okay. And then these were some very heavy design days because I was rushing against several deadlines. And honestly, this week was a complete blur because I was just rushing. So yeah, I honestly can't say too much about this, but I do love the pastel colors. All right, this week was a little bit empty. I did try a thing where, so previously, like if I work for this many hours, I will indicate that somehow with like arrows or these like bars. For this week, I decided not to do that. So for example, here I wrote design work. It looks like I only worked for 2 hours, but it likely would have been like for several hours. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I think I still prefer seeing how long I actually worked. But yeah, I just used more of the July snail parcel doodles and stuff. This was last week. I announced the Master Artist collection for the release on Sunday, or the birthday sale, and I had to use the Ode to Hokusai washi tape, which is the Great Wave, and I love it so much. And I thought it was fitting to also use my fountain pen with the blue ink. It was super weird because it has been super hot here in BC, but then for some reason like it started raining and becoming super gloomy on these few days, and so I had to take out my fuzzy jackets again. And then this is this current week, and you get a little bit of a sneak peek into the birthday kit, which I have actually not shown yet. You guys get a little bit of a preview. Okay, let's move on to the daily section. I feel like you guys are getting so tired of me saying this, but July 1st was the moving day, so I didn't have much time and I ended up just like doodling a bunch of what happened. It was, again, like a fever dream. So the movers came, we unloaded the trucks, we got McDonald's for both the movers and ourselves, we built the shelves, I got some food from Walmart, and then I had to go home because I had to finish the video for Sunday. It was absolutely insane. I guess I slept at 3 in the morning on that day. And then on Sunday, I wrote mentally exhausted and physically exhausted. I guess I also didn't finish the video on Saturday because I had to wake up early to finish. And then this was my lunch, which was a bunch of random things. I actually really like this lunch lettering. It's kind of cool. On Monday, I wrote no time for a to-do list. It's just one of those days. This was the swatches for the July washi. I think I received this way earlier, but I just never had the chance to swatch it. And I really love this wood grain washi. On Tuesday, I tried out a new kind of Greek salad recipe. So I just wrote down all of the ingredients. And then since then, I have made it like 4 times. It was really good. On Wednesday, I had a medical checkup. And then I went to Save On Foods to get some salmon, parsley, olive oil, and potatoes. I received my Wonder Pens order, which was super exciting. And I doodled this like melting emoji. And I wrote hot and humid. Thursday, continuing this like sort of summer theme, I put down the Summer Critters washi, and this shark washi is from Fox and Cactus. And then I made some mint and ginger tea. Ginger is actually really hard to doodle because it's so wonky. Here I doodled the cover of Taylor Swift's Speak Now album, and my favorite quotation, "This night is sparkling, don't you let it go. I'm wonderstruck, blushing all the way home." It's so weird to say that without like singing it, but I have an atrocious singing voice, so I'm not going to attempt. On Saturday, I slept in a little bit, and this was the super meaningful thing I was talking about. So I was just going to my favorite cafe, like any other day, getting an iced Americano. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but pretty much all of the baristas know me by now. And so I went in and I was like, oh, I'll get my usual medium iced Americano. And the barista was like, oh, have you actually gotten the free drink and scone? And I was so confused because typically, you know, I just pay and then I leave. So I wasn't expecting this like entire conversation, and I was super confused. And turns out one of my customers who lives in the area, she went in and paid for my drink and also cinnamon roll scone, and I was so flabbergasted. Of course, I, you know, emailed the customer afterwards and said thank you, but it was just, it absolutely made my day. And the next time I went to get coffee, but it was at Starbucks, I paid it forward as well. So yeah, people are good. Moving on to Sunday, I went on a little morning walk and listened to a podcast, and then I doodled some things that I had for Sunday's lunch. During the work week, we're all really busy, so we typically either eat like leftovers or really simple stir fries. But on Sunday, my mom made this like huge spread of food, and it was just such a treat. I don't remember why I made this color palette. I don't think I used it for anything, but I do like that color combo. And then you can pause to read everything on the sticky note, but I just had a lot of thoughts on my mind, so this was like a little flow chart that I made on a sticky note. On the 11th, I was obviously feeling overwhelmed. I doodled this like kind of reflecting blobby emoji. I did get my Jet Pens order, which was super exciting, and I did some swatches. On Wednesday, I used this as an hourly section instead of a to-do list because I had deadlines like hour by hour, and it was so overwhelming. And I just like made arrows of like sub to-do lists, and I did find this to be rather helpful. So yeah, I love the Hobonichi Cousin because I can just like do random stuff like this and have it fit my needs. On Thursday, I didn't check anything off, but I can assure you, I definitely did stuff on this day. My sister came over on this day and she brought me some espresso and pistachio macaroons, which were super good. And if you didn't know, she's pregnant, so that's why I drew this like little pregnancy emoji, or pregnant emoji rather. Friday was evidently a big design day, and I had a lot of deadlines. Although I don't think I finished a few of these, but that's okay because I did end up finishing over the next few days. Saturday, I love this doodle so much. I basically spent the entire day at the office with my parents. It was a very, very late night for all of us. I can't remember why. Oh yeah, on Sundays we tried to make it like a rest day for us and not go to the office. So consequently on Saturday evening we were like trying to rush and get things done. So yeah, I don't know, I just felt like such a team with my parents, and so I wanted to make this doodle. So that's my dad, that's me, I'm the tallest, and then that's my mom. On Sunday it was out of the office for us, so I made this like fun daisy doodle, which I really love. And then I was knitting very late at night, so I wrote yarn, as in like yawn, you know? Haha. Okay, let's move on. On this day, I tried a new recipe for some seeded crackers, and they turned out okay. They weren't like delicious, but I will say they were definitely healthy. So yeah. Would make again though. On Tuesday, it was another busy day. I had a book club meeting, and we started reading Braiding Sweetgrass, and then I once again knitted before bed. On Wednesday, I tried a recipe for Spanish butter beans, and it tasted super good, so I definitely plan on making it again. Thursday, big design day, and I doodled. I didn't have a bad day. And it's like an accomplished emoji. Sometimes this is all you need. Just like, maybe it wasn't like a good day, but it wasn't a bad day. On Friday, I had my ultrasound appointment, and it was very funny. So I just wrote down the story. And then on Saturday, I had some things and photos to take. I also tried this like blueberry lemon muffin top, which was super good. And here I was doodling some divider ideas, so you get a little preview. Sunday, a reset day. I just wrote down some things that I wanted to do. And then I tried this like Hornby organic energy bar that I kept seeing at the grocery store, but I just never really picked up, and I finally tried it and it was so good. And my favorite part is it's made in British Columbia, so it's local to me. And then Monday was super exciting because I finally announced the birthday sale and revealed the collection of washi tapes and the theme. We have Van Gogh, Monet, Hokusai, and Da Vinci. And if you're interested, this is releasing on August 6th. Moving on, Tuesday, Wednesday, I did a whole video on this, so I won't talk too much about it. I made a chickpea stew, and I based all of the colors and stuff off of this washi tape. Really love this It's Not That Serious doodle, which is my new mantra. The next day, I doodled an heirloom tomato, and I just realized I didn't write today on the top, which I will do later. Friday, I meant to write down some thoughts that I had about braiding sweetgrass, but I never got around to it. I also assure you I got things done, but I just didn't check things off. Again, with my videos, I try to be as realistic and transparent as possible. I'm not gonna like do stuff just to show that I fully fill every page, but things like this do happen. So yeah. Saturday, it was a tough day for me. I was very, very, very anxious. Like from the moment I woke up, I was anxious. And I just knew that I had to like kind of rethink my day a little bit. So I started off with an hourly section and then a little to-do list. And again, I assure you I got things done, but I just didn't really check things off. And then this was yesterday, Sunday. I was taking some notes on the 5 defense systems in our body. I was reading a book that one of my customers recommended. You know who you are, and I know you watch my videos, so yeah, just jotted down some notes. And then I love this so much, aggressive knitting. I was again very anxious yesterday, so I was like knitting like a mad woman in the evening. So yeah. And then this is today. I haven't really done much yet, but I will fill this out as the day goes by. But yeah, this is my birthday week. So this is everything for my Hobonichi cousin. Moving on. I have my art journal, which is going to be super quick because I didn't do too much. So I think this is where I last left off. So I did a really quick sketch using my new favorite thing, which is this pocket brush pen from Pentel. I have been using this a lot lately. This is based off one of Van Gogh's paintings. I was feeling super inspired. Right, on July 5th, I went on a walk and I ended up walking 2 hours and 40 minutes. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Never doing that ever again. But this was one of the areas that I was walking by and I thought it was so beautiful. So I did a painting of that afterwards. I showed this in my previous video and I also used the Pentel brush pen, but this is just me drawing some ordinary things in my life. Here I have a chocolate toaster oven, some flowers on our table. This is the Hobonichi cousin with some pens and stuff, cupboard with a microwave, and then Patagonia Provisions tin fish. Really random things, but that's kind of the point. I'm just like drawing random stuff that I typically wouldn't draw. And then this was just like a really quick sketch of my sister and her husband. They did like a maternity photo shoot and I thought this was such a sweet photo. So those were my sketches for July. Nothing too exciting. Okay, this is not planner related at all, but I will quickly show you my knitting progress. Ever since I hauled my yarn from Wool Warehouse, I realized that a lot of my viewers also like knitting. So yeah, okay, right off the bat, you can see a lot of imperfections. I am, again, a very beginner knitter. So I made a lot of errors, and at this stage in my knitting journey, I do not yet have the skills to fix mistakes. Like at some point, the stitches like completely fell off my needles and I tried my best to fix it, but as you can see, there's like little holes and stuff everywhere. I'm doing a top-down striped sweater, so I started by knitting the neck and then the yoke over here with all of the increases. This is going to have full sleeves, but I'm just knitting the body for now. And you can see the stripes coming together. Again, a lot of sad imperfections, but I'm gaining a lot of skills with this project, so I'm really excited. I think at this rate I should be able to finish in the month of August, but we will see. I tend to knit when I get stressed, and I get stressed very often, so I'm making progress really, really quickly. Now I will talk a little bit about my 2024 plans. And I will just open to this page so you can stare at something. So for 2024, I think I have my system in mind. Obviously, I will change things around, but this is like the gist of it. So I plan on getting the A6 Hobonichi. So this is the A5. I'm going to get the A6, which is a lot smaller. And I'm going to use that as my main daily journal. So all of this like journaling stuff I plan on doing in my A6, but I'm definitely not giving up on the Hobonichi cousin. I'm still going to be getting the Hobonichi cousin because I want to continue using the monthly section. I really, really like the monthly section of the Hobonichi cousin, and I really like the weekly section. So for those two sections, I want to continue using the Hobonichi cousin. Now you might be wondering, okay, what about like the majority of the planner where it's like the daily pages? I also plan on using that because as you can see, for most of my days, I am like filling it out completely. So it's impossible for me to fit all of this into an A6 planner. So I plan on using this as an extension to the A6. If I need to do like brainstorming, or if I want to, I don't know, jot down like ideas like this, recipes, I will do that in my Hobonichi cousin. The only difference is I won't be filling it out completely with like my daily thoughts and stuff like that. It's more so just like kind of a commonplace sort of notebook. And then I will continue using my bullet journal, but in a new book because this one's almost finished. And I also plan on getting a take a note planner. I'm gonna get that as undated because I certainly do not need a third planner to use every single day. So I plan on using the take a note planner for my academic / learning stuff. I don't know if you recall, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, but I told myself after graduating that I would give myself 2 years to focus on the business. One of my big goals was to move into my office, which I have, as you know, done. And, you know, by no means is the Coffee Monsters Co. like independent from me or anything. I'm still super involved, so there are still a few things that I could improve upon. But yeah, starting next year, I will be putting myself and my learning a little bit more as a priority because I do want to start applying to graduate school. So my Take a Note planner is going to act as my personal planner for like applications and studying and all of that. So I think that is it for my planner plans. Again, I will go more in depth once I actually do have the planners in hand, but that is kind of what is stewing in my brain right now. So I think that's it. I have been talking for way too long. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will not be speaking to anybody for the next 3 business days.
不要再为谷歌的 Veo 3每月支付200美元了，现在使用 Filmora 就能免费生成，而且效果更好。打开 Filmora， 放入你的图片和文字。
Happy 2023. Happy 2023, everyone. I am so excited to be filming this video. As the title suggests, I have journaled every single day for the past 365 days, and in this video I will just be flipping through all 365 pages. And if you are not interested in my commentary, I totally respect that, so I will leave a timestamp right here so that you can skip to it and not have to sit through all of my talking. I think this will be a rather long video, so I have a oat milk cappuccino and also a mug of water to assist me. So we start with January 1st, and it seems like it wasn't a very good start of the year, and it's funny because, you know, a year later, I don't even remember why I was feeling down. I could read all of this, but I'm not going to do that. I guess it kind of just reminds me that a lot of the problems that I have are very much short-term, and a year later, I don't even remember them. I baked some brown butter chocolate chip cookies, and I didn't do much work today. Here I was brainstorming some bean card ideas. I did a lot of pen swatches in this journal. I was working on my 6-year anniversary, and as you can see, I was still actively working on it on January 6th, but for this year, it is currently December 31st, but I actually finished 90% of the 7-year anniversary prep last week. So yeah, for 2023, I am very determined to get ahead. I think I was having another bad mental health day. I do remember the first few weeks of 2022 was not so great for me. A lot of anxiety. I watched The Matrix, and this was the first week of my last semester of my last year of undergrad. And it's honestly quite emotional to think about. Like, it's crazy how much happened within a single year. So here I was still in university. I went over to my sister's house and we baked some matcha cookies, but I still worked that night. I baked some brownies on this day, and then this was a bittersweet day because this was the last time I met up with my friend before I left for Toronto. And this was my last day in British Columbia, and then I flew back to Toronto on the 15th. So yes, most of my schooling was online back then, so that's why I still stayed in BC for the first week or so. But yeah, I flew back on the 15th. This was my flight. This is my legal name, by the way. I don't mind that you guys know that. My friend and I watched Matrix 2 and 3. That was kind of a trippy night. I was very tired and sleep deprived, and I was also reading Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown, so I was writing down some notes. I did give it a 3 stars. I can't remember why. Yeah, I just felt like it didn't give me much depth, but that was probably the intention of the book, so yeah. I guess I was doing kind of like an icy blue theme these few days, and I was working on the functional sticker sheets. Lots of writing here. I'm guessing I was not having a very good day here either, judging by the quotations that I was putting down. And then I started a rainbow week, which is one of my favorite things to do, where I assign a color of the rainbow to each day of the week. So pink, orange, yellow, green. Here I was brainstorming some bean card ideas, and this is one of my favorite bean cards still. Then we have blue. Why was I really stressed on this day? Oh, it was because I had new releases on Saturday. Okay, so that's why. That makes a lot of sense. I remember it was just pure chaos handling new releases while, obviously in my senior year of university. It was incredibly tiring, and I honestly don't even know how I did it. Here I got some new Tombow dual brush pen colors, so of course I had to use it right away. Oh, this is Lunar New Year, which I spent alone in Toronto. Here I was figuring out a linear programming problem. I was brainstorming some color palettes. But why was I brainstorming color palettes? Oh, this is for my top 10 Tombow dual brush pen colors. It's triggering a bunch of memories. This was one of the best books that I read in 2022, especially nonfiction. Empire of Pain. It was excellent. Here I was brainstorming ideas for a website revamp, so I was just drawing some frameworks. Very sleepy on this day. I went to this Italian restaurant called Toroni in Toronto. We ordered a salad and a pizza with no cheese because I do not eat cheese. And it's not even just the fact that it's an animal product. Like, I don't enjoy vegan cheeses either. Just something about the smell of cheese really makes me sick. So yeah, anyways, Tiffany, she was really nice, and we decided to get pizza with no cheese. Here I was reading Crime and Punishment, I think, and I was just trying to sort through all of the characters because I wasn't too familiar with the names. Here I think I was ranting about a group project that I was having, and flowers are nice, very random. I had onion ring chips. Like, random words are just like jumping out at me, so I'm just gonna point those out. I have not slept. This was basically the motto of my entire schooling. I have not slept. What else? I think I was doing some more website revamps. This was a really busy day. I guess this was like continuing the... I'm not going to flip to it, but I think this was continuing the previous framework that I was drawing. I guess it was like a long-term project. And also I remember, like, one of these days my heater broke, and February in Toronto is extremely cold, at least for this year. So I finally got the heating guy, I don't know what they're called, electricians, to come and fix the heater, which was such a relief because I needed a portable heater. I guess this was my reading week. A little chocolate stain. As you can see, like, I do a lot of random stuff. I don't take my planner too seriously. This was another busy day. I think I was taking some notes for an interview prep. Tiffany and I went to the Captain's Boil, which it was kind of funny because we didn't buy anything that was like the signatures. We got literally fries and Brussels sprouts at the Captain's Boil. And then we went to Nani's Gelato, and I had a vegan pistachio gelato. And then we went to Bake Code, which had the most insane croissants, and it was so good. If you're wondering, like, Tiffany, we met in first year of university, and we basically kept in touch the entire 4 years. And in the final year of university, we're like, every week we're gonna go out to some restaurant in Toronto and eat food. And that was one of my fondest memories. So yeah, this was just one of those days. This was a little flower doodle. Once again, Tiffany and I, we went somewhere a few days ago or maybe a few weeks ago, and we stopped by this gorgeous plant shop and they had beautiful flowers. So I just made a little doodle of that. We had new releases and washi overstocks on this day. I don't remember any of this, but this is what a journal is for, I guess. And this, okay, I guess this was the 6-year anniversary week. Here I was trying to figure out a problem for linear programming. And this was the 6-year anniversary washi. Again, very, very random. Here I was brainstorming some ideas on how I wanted to structure the information page for the anniversary sale on the website. And I think I was studying for midterms or finals, probably midterms. So I was like making a little checklist of things that I wanted to review for. Oh yeah, 490 midterm, lecture, tutorial. I don't know how I managed anniversary, like the shop anniversary with new releases along with midterms. That was kind of crazy. So yeah, this was my 6-year shop anniversary. I treated myself to a nice breakfast at Italy, which since moving back to Vancouver, I think one of the main things that I miss about living in Toronto was being so close to Italy. I was like a 5-minute walk away, and it was dangerous for my wallet, but it was just the most delicious treat. And I really like this little doodle. And then on this day, I had a very bad mental health day. As you can see, I kind of dissociated, and that was that. Here, I don't know why I wrote coffee that way, and I was brainstorming some new release ideas. Here I drew some green flowers, not sure why. And then Tiffany and I, again, we went out to eat, and we went to this place called Hey Sushi, and it was so good. They had sushi tacos, and it was my first time having them. And then afterwards, we stopped by a cafe, and we had a Korean sweet potato cake, which was so delicious. And then I went to the Bake Code with my friend Helen. Her name is also Helen, and I picked out more delicious croissants. So that was nice. Sorry, I need to drink some coffee. Okay, so this was Spring Forward, and once again I was doodling some ideas for the Reading Time sampler, which is probably one of my favorite samplers, and also the spring mugs. This was the actual anniversary sale week, but it wasn't the actual anniversary. Here I redeemed some Starbucks rewards, which I was really excited about. I think I got a iced almond milk matcha, judging by the doodle. Oh, this breaks my heart so much. I said I want to throw up, terrible day, just want it to be over. I hate my brain so much sometimes. I want to sleep, so today's over, but I have so many things left to do. The only thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow is my long run. Oh, I still go through bad mental health days and weeks. I'm by no means better, but sometimes, like, looking back, I don't even remember what was going on during this day, but I can't imagine what triggered me to feel that way. Anyways, let's move on. Here I was doodling some banner ideas. 175 cut files. Why is that? Why did I need to make 175 cut files? I'm so confused. But anyways, I guess I was still preparing. It's 3:30. And then, yeah, this was the actual anniversary. So the day before, I pretty much just took a nap instead of sleeping. But the sale itself was super fun, and I used the Magic Forest doodles to decorate, which was the theme of the anniversary. And then the next day, I literally looked like, I don't even know, a zombie, I guess. And this was a very accurate doodle of my outfit. And I did go to... No, I didn't go anywhere. I think I just made myself an avocado toast, and I said avocado toast bagels are awesome, which I still agree with. Here I was brainstorming some ideas for the classic Emoties mini collection, which, like, again, I just did a new release, one of the biggest new releases 2 days ago. I can't believe I was brainstorming new ideas, which I guess I'm still doing that now. But I don't know, looking back, it's kind of crazy, especially since I still had like school going on. Yeah. An annoying thing was that I accidentally dropped a carton of eggs at the grocery store, which is so embarrassing. Here I was really trying to get organized, I think because I just had a lot of school things going on, and I was taking some notes for game theory. Let's see, upcoming goals. Continue Spanish and French learning. I'm still doing that now. Read through understanding analysis. Unfortunately, I didn't finish that. Run and work out consistently, and I've been doing good for 3 months. This, I'm proud to say, I think I've been consistent. So yeah, it's basically been about a year of consistently going to the gym, except for a few injuries that I've had and also my wisdom teeth removal. Other than that, like, I've been pretty consistent. Looking into expanding TCMC office space. Unfortunately, we're still looking. I do have a very hopeful candidate that I visited last week though, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Carve out more time for painting. Boo. I never ended up doing that. This was a Winnie the Pooh week. This is so whimsical. I really like this, and I think I want to do it again. Oh, actually, this is my theme, or this was my theme for yesterday. But anyways, this was a funny joke. I already told this when I did the flip through for March, but basically I was telling my friend about the two-phase method for linear programming, and they heard it as a two-phased method, and I died of laughter. So yeah. And I recall in my flip through video I said that this looked like pea. It's actually meant to be honey though. And again, Tiffany and I, we went to this place called Batty's, and it was like a brunch spot in Toronto, and they unfortunately closed. So we went, I think, on the second to last day that they closed, or before they closed. And we decided to share a breakfast burger, but it had mozzarella cheese in it, so she had most of it. And then I had most of the chia pudding, which was really good. And then here my friend was giving me a puzzle about a cat and some boxes, so I just doodled some cats in boxes. This was April Fool's, which I posted a fun video on YouTube, and it's kind of like a tradition on my channel. Unfortunately, I don't really have an idea for this year yet, but I will have to think of something creative. It's one of my favorite things to do. This is a little weekend reset. I was doodling some more bean card ideas. Had a presentation on this day. And again, Tiffany and I, we went to Nani's Gelato. This place is so good, and they always have really good vegan flavors. So on this day, I had vegan cereal milk crunch. Like, how good does that sound? So good. It was a library day, and I was, I think, making some sort of bingo. This was the last day of classes, which was kind of sad. I spent 3 hours at Robarts because even though classes were over, we had to study for finals. I watched the Our Planet documentary, one of them, with my friend, so I was doodling some animals. That was really fun. I had my linear programming final exam, and that was a very accurate doodle of how I felt afterwards. Here I think there was something wrong with my Tombow dual brush pen, and that's what happened. So, and I think I wanted to make a video about some tips, so those are some brainstorming notes. And I think this was this was covering up a mistake that I made. All I do is just cover mistakes. Here I was brainstorming an idea for the graduation mini kit / achievements mini kit. We have 2 versions. I was running some errands, and I was taking some notes on green premiums. This was a really fun doodle. Very spontaneous, but I love it. I went to Planta with Helen, and Planta is a all-vegan place. We had a really delicious dumpling, and also I had a pad thai slaw. That was really good. I was studying for finals all day. Oh, I was feeling very burnt out, evidently. I had another final on the Monday, and then it started snowing on this day, in the middle of April. Then I finished the book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. I continued studying for exams, and I had a lot of summer new releases that I wanted to get through. and this was yet another final exam. On this day, I went people watching at my local like grocery store, department store area, and I had a matcha latte. I really like these doodles. I wish I had more time to go people watching and just make little doodles. I haven't done that in a while. I was making some swatches using the tissue paper and vellum. Once again, Tiffany and we went out for a little foodie trip to Cafe Landwehr, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I had a shakshuka, and it was a huge portion, but it was very, very good. Especially loved the bread, I remember. Then my friend and I watched the new Batman movie. I think it's just called Batman, and it was really fun. And these few days are rather empty. Not too sure why. I had a mental breakdown earlier today, so maybe that's why. So I really wanted the Pelikan M800 fountain pen. I was just talking about it, and eventually, if you watched some of my earlier videos, you would know that I did end up buying it as a graduation present for myself, which was nice. Here I set up my watercolor palette because I had more time to paint. Unfortunately, I didn't end up painting very much, but it was still fun to set it up. And now we're on to May. I started off with this really bright tulip theme, and I really love these colors. And I did it because U of T planted some tulips. And my friend Helen and I, and also Annie, that was terrible grammar, we went to this place called OUB Breakfast, and I had their classic breakfast and also a black coffee. And I really like this little tulip scenery. This was May 4th, so I made a little doodle. Some more tulips. I tried to be really creative with how I incorporated the tulips and also like the color scheme into this week. And I'm quite proud of these spreads, to be honest. And then this week I started like an ocean theme in my bubble. Apparently very hot on this day. Lots of designing, and this was some ideas for a fountain pen emojis sheet. Holy moly. I don't even want to dive into what I wrote there. Okay. Then I was thinking of some ideas for the Hobonichi Cousin deluxe page. We had not done the third page up until this point, so yeah. Anxiety Sucks. Completely agree with that. These are some books that I wanted to, or I guess I was currently reading. Bad Brain Day continues. Yeah, I think I was having a very bad mental health week. And I treated myself to a scone from, I think, Cobb's Bread. Yeah, Cobb's Bread. And I tried to draw the scone, but it ended up looking like a lump of fat. So, yeah. Then I discovered that I had a fountain pen store literally 10 minutes away. Like, I've lived in that apartment for 2 to 3 years at that point, and I had not known that there was a fountain pen store. And as soon as I found out, I put on my coat and I just walked there. And yeah, I got the Aurora Black fountain pen ink, which is one of my favorite black inks. Some cute little emojis. This was the new release and graduation sale. And once again, my friend and I watched another episode of Our Planets, The Jungles, and I made some doodles. Then my friend Helen and we went to Din Tai Fung, had some dim sum, noodles, and scallion pancakes were so good. Oh, I miss that place so much. Then once again, Helen and we met up a few days later, and we went to St. Lawrence Market. In the 4 years that I was in Toronto, I had always wanted to go to St. Lawrence Market, but I just never had the time, and we finally went, and it was amazing. And this was a little doodle of my outfit. Planning some pre-order stuff because the June annual pre-order was coming up. I recall not liking the carrot headers very much. Here I had a nail appointment, and I finished the book First They Killed My Father about the Cambodian genocide, and it was a very impactful book for me. Ooh, cute little snails. Okay. And then this was my... this was my era of being obsessed with Stardew Valley. And oh my gosh, I completely erased Stardew Valley from my mind. I literally just remembered that Stardew Valley existed. So I think I'm going to start playing again tonight. And I think I said I would make Stardew Valley doodle stickers, so I'm going to do that as well. Anyways, yeah, so I was playing Stardew Valley a lot. Here I was doing some swatches of the new Mileliners, and my friend Helen and I once again went for another food outing. We went to this Japanese restaurant called Boku, and I had their saba miso, which reminded me of Japan so much, and it was honestly a little bit emotional. And then I was swatching the Robert Oster Chicago ink, which is beautiful. Here I was really stressed because I was getting closer to my move back to Vancouver, and I was barely packed, so I made a little list of things that I had to do for each week. This was when I had the genius idea of the Build Your House stickers, and I do think it's a really good idea, but yeah, I was just so dang excited, and I barely slept on this day because I was just working on this like a mad woman. So yeah, and then I posted about the idea the next day, and these were a bunch of requests from you guys with the different rooms, and I ended up doing most of them, I think. All right. Oh, okay, so I revealed the pre-order washi tapes on this day. That was fun. And I was watching my friend's graduation. They streamed it on YouTube, so I was able to cheer them on. Then I had an Amazon package arrive. We watched Pink Panther. I'm guessing I had an iced coffee of some sort. I got some new shoes, and again, I was playing Stardew Valley. All right. Ooh, I remember filming a daily journaling vlog, and I tried to challenge myself with the themes. So it was still Rainbow Week, but I wanted to do some new themes like flamingos and stuff like that. Anyways, I received the delivery of some pouches, which I was really excited about. I was setting up my business planner, and my friend Helen and I think this was our last meeting. I'm not too sure. We went to Lion City for dinner, then Lakeshore, then Helen's house. And that was really fun. We saw some swans. And then this was the annual pre-order, which I don't know why, like this was really close to when I was leaving. So I don't know why I held one of the biggest events like a few days before, but that was a really fun day. And then Helen gifted me a new dress on this day, which was really sweet of her. One of my favorite dresses. This was actually the last day that I saw Helen, and it also happened to be the last day I was in Toronto. So yeah, I just wanted to meet up with her before I left, and we went to Mampuku, which was I think it's supposed to be Mampuku. But yeah, anyways, it was like a full circle moment because when I first moved to Toronto for university, it was my dad who accompanied me, and the first place that we ate at was Mampuku, and I ended off Toronto with Mampuku, and it was so good. Anyways, on the 21st, I just wrote down a bunch of flight info, and then I met up with my friend. I think that's why I wrote a little outing, and then this was back to business. Yeah, so I kind of rested on the first day back, understandably, because I flew in the evening. And then on this day, I was just kind of recovering and unpacking, and then on this day, I went back to work. I guess I was still studying topology on this day. I really like this watermelon font, and I tried baking focaccia for the first time, which turned out okay. It wasn't the best, but I think I tried like 4 more times, and I still have not perfected the recipe, but I definitely want to try again very soon. Oh gosh, I just realized I have like 40 minutes of footage, and we're just over halfway through. Okay, let's keep going. It was very hot in Vancouver, so I kind of did a little summer theme. High of 31 on this day. Wow, that's insane. On this day, I went on a little picnic with my friend. Okay, I'm just gonna mention, like, when I mention my friend, typically I'm talking about my boyfriend. I don't know why I'm very weird about referring to him as my boyfriend. But yeah, we went on a little picnic, so that was really lovely. And then on this day, I revealed the Desert Stroll collection. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So yeah, if you recall, like a few weeks back, I did the annual washi pre-order, and we also released a fundraiser vinyl, and in total we raised $5,374.90 US dollars for Hope in a Box, which is an LGBTQ educational program, and I was really excited about that. Here I was brainstorming some more ideas for my setup, and someone in the Facebook group was requesting for like side-by-side comparisons of the different Galaxy washi tapes, so that was that. And then my sister came over, which was really fun, always fun, I love her so much. And she stayed over, so the next morning we went to the Dutch for brunch. What did I have? I had French toast? No, my sister had Nutella and strawberry French toast, and I had an omelet. But I think her food was a little bit more photogenic, so that's why I drew that one. And here I was doodling some ideas for filming an Instagram reel, and I got 2 new Tombow Door Brush pen colors. Here I was starting my watercolor phase, so I doodled some lilies, some tulips, and then my friend, aka boyfriend, we went on a little Vancouver outing, so we went to the Vancouver Art Gallery, Vancouver Pen Shop, which was such a blast, and then we went to Opus, Bread and Butter Cafe, and then Kitano Donburi, and that was so good. And then the next day I had to do a lot of work because I barely worked on this day, but it was totally worth it. Here my mom was like working on her garden in full swing, and just so many things were blooming, and I think we picked some radish on this day, so that was nice. Not too sure what's happening here, but that's okay. And we went on a little park stroll. That was very lovely. I baked some brownies on this day and went to the library. It was a very busy work day, and I think new releases were coming up, so that's why I was working on new releases. This is a full-on design day, and then here my fountain pen did some weird explosion on me, so that was that. Big business moves. I bought a bunch of new equipment for making sticker books, which is really nice, and these have all come in handy, and I've shown, I think, most of these in videos. All right. Aw. Okay, so on this day I had my running injury, and I basically couldn't run for the next few weeks, and that took a very big toll on my mental health, to be honest. Like, physically I was obviously in pain, but mentally I was just so done. Running really, really helped me just like clear my mind. So the fact that I couldn't run, but also like I could barely walk or move anywhere, was just terrible. So yeah, on this day I went to like a walk-in clinic and basically just waited around for a very long time. Here I was in pain, and I was designing for Halloween on this day. And then some new seal stickers came in, and these are probably my favorite set of seal stickers that I've ever done. Here I was watching a talk about depression in the USA, and we picked some green beans in my mom's garden, which was super fun. And instead of today, I wrote Jode. Why? I don't know. And then on this day, I doodled a little thing of our house, and I thought it was just a very sweet doodle. Anyways, on this day, I was filming something, and then I went on a little coffee date, and I guess I was still filming something, and then I used the Emoti Stationery Delivery stamp, and as a rookie, I made the mistake of using archival ink, and it completely bled through to the other side, but that's okay. On this day, we watched Harry Potter, and we were intending on doing a marathon, but we stopped at, I think, the 4th movie. And I also picked up my first MacBook, which was so exciting, but I remember feeling very, very guilty because it's so expensive. Here I was watching the June washi pre-orders because it delivered on this day. I was so excited, and here I was making a little checklist of all of the individual Emoti head sheets that I had to do, because there were 8 times 8, 64 files, and then times 2, so 128 files that I had to do. That was kind of crazy. So yeah, I was just checking things off as I go. We will be bringing this back because I know this was a really handy thing to do. And then my friend gave me a French press and some like coffee beans and stuff for my birthday, which is so lovely. Some more swatches of the washi tapes. Here I drew Totoro, and we had pizza and chips because my friend Vihara came over. And then here I doodled stuff for Ponyo, and we continued watching Harry Potter. Nothing too exciting here, I think. Oh yeah, this was my birthday. My birthday's August 6th. And so yeah, I ate dinner with two of my friends, so that was lovely. And on this day, I revealed the birthday washi. And the very next day after my birthday, I felt my depression coming back. That's nice. Here are some swatches of some new pens and inks that I got. And I went to Green Timbers. Here I went to the library to get a bunch of work done. And oh, I got the first issue of the New Yorker. I had a trial that gave me like, I think 8 issues or something for a very low cost. So yeah, I just went for the trial. And then I stayed over at my sister and her husband's house, I guess brother-in-law, and we went to Cactus Club Cafe, which was really, really good. I had the chilled noodle salad. And I made a little doodle of their house, and he's very tall and she's really short, so okay, she's not really short, but he's significantly taller, so that's why I made that funny little doodle. And then my sister and I went shopping, and we played Just Dance, and we golfed, so that was fun. And then on this day, I was supposed to stay over for a bit longer, but then my dad, I've told this story many times, but while he was moving a potted plant, one of the plant leaves poked him in the eye, and he had to go to the emergency room. So yeah, my sister and I rushed home. And then I was very close to a breakdown because we had so many things going on, and my dad was obviously out of work due to his eye injury, so I was basically working for 2 people, and it was absolutely crazy. Hence this spread that makes 0 sense. I think this was like all of the birthday sale new releases. Right, this was like right before my birthday sale, and he had the injury happen. Obviously I don't blame him, but it was just really crazy for me. And then my friend Vihara, she gifted me a game theory book, which I was so touched by because I love game theory. And then on August 20th, that was when we had the birthday sale, and as you can see, there were numerous issues, and I was very, very overwhelmed on this day. I was doing a bunch of lettering for the first 175, 250, I don't remember, orders, so I also made one for myself. Here I was having a bad mental health day, and here I said I needed a vacation. My friend and I, we went to the movie theaters to watch 3,000 Years of Longing, which is an excellent movie. And then here I was preparing the graphics for the 2022 Advent announcement, and you might find these familiar. I think I put down this weekend banner because I made an error and I was covering it up, because that's like really random. Here I was doing some, what was I doing? Oh, some things that I have to design. So labels, and I had to build an inventory shelf and also work on the Wonder Pens collab. And this was the Wonder Pens collab. My new Hobonichi cousin arrived, which I was so excited about, and I was making some more swatches. This is definitely one of my favorite collections that I've done. Okay, then in September, I started my more fall themes, and so on this day, Wonder Pens launched our collab, which was super exciting, so I made a little doodle of their storefront, and I also just put down the cinema ticket here. Then my friend and I, we went to Hanako Sushi, which is super good, and here I was making kind of like a timeline of a bunch of videos that I wanted to post. Ooh, cute little fox. Okay. I wrote, I hope next week treats me well. Aw, I hope it did. Cozy day, and then we got a new printer. I called it Bob the Printer. And then I played Minecraft with my friend a lot on this day. Some late night thoughts, and Queen Elizabeth II passed away on this day. feeling sick, so done for the day. I'm not sure why I was feeling sick. Anyways, on Saturday I got a haircut, so that was a little doodle of myself. And I got some new clean colored dot markers, and I packed 300 orders on this day, which is kind of crazy. I passed my driver's license exam road test on this day. That was very exciting. And I also had bubble tea. It's just so crazy. Like, I don't even remember most of these things. So it's only like through flipping through these pages that I'm able to remember. And I guess this is part of what daily journaling does for you. On this day, Lisa, one of my longtime customers, flew from, I think, Chicago. No, not Chicago. LA. Yeah, from LA to Vancouver for a work trip, and we decided to meet up, and we had tsujiri, and it was so fun to catch up. On this day, it was kind of sad because I had to say bye to my friend. He left for his PhD, and these were some cinema tickets, also from this past summer. It wasn't like watched on this day. I was feeling very devastated. And then on this day, I decided, like, you know what? I need to pull myself out of this negative spiral and do some self-care things. So, yeah, on this day, we had the Advent, I think, announcement. Oh, sorry, my friend left on this day, but this was the last day I said bye. So yeah, anyways, I placed an order with Wonder Pens, which is always exciting. And then I did a little bit of painting on this day, which was really fun. Here I went on a little solo picnic date, and it was really nice because I stopped by 7-Eleven to pick up some fun things, and I basically just read a book and wrote. Here I was reading The Last Days of Socrates. I made a doodle of Socrates, and I said I don't even know what he looks like. I wrote, I hope future me will be proud of current me, and I smudged this emoji, which I thought was kind of funny. And then on this day, I had my introductory therapy session, which was kind of, I guess, draining. That's the best way I could describe it, because it was 80 straight minutes of just me talking about all of my problems and my entire life story. So there was that. And then this is a little note that was included in my order from Pix by Pix, and it was so sweet, so I just had to keep it in. I had some Amazon orders come in, or just one Amazon order. I was designing all day. Started playing the piano, or I guess rediscovered playing the piano. These are the packing labels that we're currently using. And then this was kind of the start of my spooky season. Got my Chapters Indigo order, and these are some long-term goals that I had. I think I was having a very bad, again, few mental health weeks. I feel like I'm just like always going through bad times, but that's fine. So anyways, I went to the mall and I just bought some random stuff, like hummus and leggings and stuff. Designed all night. I read Killers of the Flower Moon, which was another probably in my top 5 reads of 2022. I'm getting very tired of talking, if you can't tell. I had a therapy session, and then I placed an order with Jet Pens, which I was really excited about. I went to Cobb's Bread. This was a little tribute to Robbie. I had a lot of taxes on this day. More taxes. Taxes are so annoying, and actually I need to do taxes for this past quarter. Making a little doodle of how I wanted to lay out an Instagram photo. This was the recipe for the rosemary pull-apart bread, and it was amazing. I highly recommend this recipe. And I was doodling the banner for the new Facebook group. I was doodling the new Facebook group banner. Oh my goodness, I cannot talk anymore. Taylor Swift launched her Midnight's album on this day, and then Karen and my brother-in-law came over. Here I was brainstorming some ideas for the Biomes collection, and then this was like a continuing design list. I watched the movie Smile with my friend at the theater, which was very scary. We started Packing for Advent. Why was I sad on this day? Oh, that moment when you feel like you made a lot of progress with healing your mental health and one misstep sets you back. Woohoo! We'll keep going. I can't imagine what happened on this day. We did new releases, and then I was starting to incorporate some lyrics from Midnights. And then we're on to November. This is a very busy day, evidently. Karen and David coming over. I'm probably going to die down my talking just a little bit because I'm getting really tired. Oh, right. This is my wisdom teeth removal. So for the next few weeks, I was kind of out of it. We watched Wrath of Man, and I went to one of the gelato places nearby to treat myself. Because I could only have like cold and soupy foods. So there was that. I went to Save On Foods, and here I was working on these sticker books. And I was revealing the sticker books here. This was a really busy day, so instead of making to-do lists, I kind of made like a priority list. And then I got my 4th COVID shot on this day. I was too busy for a to-do list, but I ended up making a to-do list anyways. I really like this little doodle. I think that's cute. Packed orders all night, and then I was just doodling some random stuff. And I baked apple cinnamon crumble cookies. I got some new fountain pen inks, and these are some older ones, but I just wanted to make some swatches. And I really like this Out of the Woods kind of theme going on here. Here I was brainstorming some ideas for the new bean samplers, and then I watched Wakanda Forever with my friend. Busy few days. And then I watched the movie Le Samurai, I think that's how you say it, with my friend once again, and I had some new fountain pen inks. This was my mom's birthday, so I ordered her a chestnut cake, and it was so delicious, and it was just a really lovely day with family. This was Black Friday, and I said to be extra mindful because I was feeling really down about myself on this day. I baked some zucchini bread, one of my classics, and then my friend and I, we watched the movie Tar, which was excellent. Apparently I stayed up until 3 in the morning on this day. And here I was doing some planning for how I would be using the Hobonichi weeks. And this was a really busy day. I didn't end up doing any journaling until evening time. So instead of like writing down everything that I did, I just made a little doodle of it. And I also started my sourdough starter. And now we are on to December. I need another sip of coffee. Okay, so this is day 1 of the Advent reveals, and it was like the morning routine washi. And then on this day, I baked some more zucchini bread, and I also incorporated some grated carrots in it, and it was actually really good. This was Advent day 2. It was a magnetic bookmark with the sun on it, so that's why I drew that. And I made scallion pancakes from scratch. On this day, it was my first time making it by myself. Typically, I would help my mom make it, but on this day, I used my own recipe and made it, and it was so good, and I was really proud. This is Advent day 3. I didn't keep up with marking in the Advents, unfortunately, but yeah. 2 a.m. thoughts. Emojis do not have ears. These spreads are kind of boring. I guess I was really busy and just not in the best headspace. On this day, so my friend surprised me, or I guess my boyfriend, he surprised me by telling me that he was actually flying back the next day, and I was so excited and obviously very shocked. Here I doodled a bunch of penguins, and then on this day I met up with my friend for sushi. I think this was part of the daily journaling vlog, so I won't talk too much about it, but my hands were wet, so that is the reason behind these splotches. And then this was preparing for the digital pre-party. And then this was the actual digital pre-party. The release went super well, and then my friend and I, we went to Chipotle and we had chips and guac, which was really good. On this day, I uploaded the regular stock stickers, and I had apparently a very good idea. I honestly can't even remember what this idea was. And then this was the day before the new release, was it? Oh no, this was the actual new release. Okay, so this is a shop reopening. And yeah, it was really crazy. So once again, I did kind of like a priority list rather than a to-do list. My friend Helen gave me an Indigo gift card. So this was my order. So I made a little doodle. And then this was Christmas week. Christmas honestly completely caught me by surprise because I was so busy with the shop reopening and stuff. And this was part of the Christmas vlog. So yeah, I was swatching a bunch of fun inks, and some of the red sheen, I don't know if you can tell, it's like very shiny. It kind of bled through, but that's okay. Here I was making some template ideas for this was for the free washi and pen box that I uploaded in the Facebook group. Here I was announcing the subscription and also all of the themes, so that was really exciting. And I also made a list of priorities. And then my friend and I, we went to this restaurant called Milestones, and it was really good. Then what happened here? Oh right, my family and I, we went to my sister and my brother-in-law's place, and we had a very lovely family time. And I made it. This was Christmas. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Okay, so yeah, we went to their house because it was Christmas, and I made a doodle of our Christmas dinner, which was so good. So we had a stir-fried zucchini, minestrone soup, seasoned rice, some baked and steamed fish, chicken karage, bok choy and mushrooms, and a Napoleon cake. And then the next day I had, once again, a lot of work to do. This is typically the case where, like, if I have a day where I don't work as much, then the next day it is very crazy. And then here I was swatching the first January subscription washi tapes. I love them so much. And then I was doodling some ideas for the January freebie. And I also went to the optometrist on this day. I met up with my friend and his girlfriend for a lovely, was it lunch? Yeah, lunch out. So we went to a sushi place. Then right after, we met up with a different friend and we went to Mr. Tonkatsu. And then after that, we just had a very calm coffee date at like 8 p.m., which was nice. And then yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was the last day that I saw my friend before they left. And then this is today. They left today. And I'm filming this on the 31st because I need to upload this on the 1st. So this is not fully filled out yet, but it's effectively done. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe I talked for like an hour straight or something. But this was basically my 2022. I am very, I don't know, shocked, I guess, or I guess in disbelief that I filled out all of these pages and that just so many things happened in the year. And at this moment, or I guess like before I flipped through all of the pages, I barely remembered anything. So I'm so glad I documented everything. I think, you know, just taking 15 minutes out of my day to write down all of the little things, the highs and the lows, I think it's one of the most valuable things that I've done in 2022, and I'm so excited to continue doing so in the following years. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for sticking with me through this journey. I know it's sounding super dramatic, but I'm honestly very proud, and I am wishing you a wonderful, wonderful 2023 ahead. I think for the rest of the day, I'm just not going to talk. Okay, bye everyone.